on Amazon Aurora. So in this demo, we will create an Amazon Aurora MySQL compatible database cluster. We will set up an EC2 instance with a simple web application. We will connect the web application to the Aurora database. We will test Aurora's high availability feature. We will explore Aurora features. Then we will test the whole setup, and finally we will clean up all the resources. So this is the demo overview. So we have Amazon Aurora. Then we will launch an EC2 instance. We will put a simple PHP application. This PHP application will be making connection to our Amazon Aurora database. So first is to launch an EC2 instance. So I have logged into AWS console. I am working in North Virginia, US East 1 region. So click on EC2. Click launch instance. So I'll copy the name of instance. Paste the name. And select the default Amazon Linux AMI. Instance type will be T2 micro. Create new key pair. So I'll copy the key pair name. Create key pair. I'll save it to desktop. And keep the network settings as allow SSH from everywhere and allow HTTP traffic from the internet. And rest all settings are fine. And then click launch instance. So now I will create a Aurora database. So search for Aurora. So Aurora falls under RDS service. So click that. Click on create database. So you can select standard create. And select the first one, Aurora MySQL compatible. So there are two variation. One is PostgreSQL compatible and MySQL compatible. Engine version you can keep default. Templates choose dev and /test. Give your database a name. So I will call it as Aurora demo cluster. Admin username, so keep admin. I'll just keep a simple password. And credentials management, you can select self-managed. And rest all settings are fine. For cluster storage, you can use Aurora standard. So which is the default, and herein you can choose bustable classes because that is the cheapest, and you can pick the DB T3 medium. And do not create an Aurora replica. Make sure you select connect to an EC2 compute resource, and this will set up the connectivity easily for you. Otherwise you have to separately go to the security groups and enable and open the relative the corresponding ports. So I can just select the EC2 instance which I have just launched, and it will be default VPC. So I have selected DB T3 medium, do not create, and connect to an EC2 compute resource. Okay, so for DB subnet group, you can select choose existing. So I'll say choose existing, and I'll just go with the default DB subnet groups, and public access no. For VPC security group, choose the default one. So click select default. And rest all settings are fine. So I'll just make sure I am okay. And database port is 3306. So if you click here, so default is correct. And this is unchecked. Tags, no need. Database authentication, we have chosen the self-managed. And monitoring, you can disable this because we don't need that. And now given your database a name, so I'll just call it my app. So this is under additional configuration. So initial database name, my app. And rest all is default is fine. So backup is correct. Enable encryption is correct. So backtrack. So this is the feature just that you need to know. This backtrack is a feature that lets you quickly rewind the DB cluster to a specific point in time without having to create another DB cluster. So you can go any point in time and exact data will be restored. So if you want, you can enable this, but it will cost you, it will charge you extra for storing the changes you make for backtracking. And click on create database. Now we will wait for 5 to 10 minutes for the creation. I will just close. I will just pause the video, and when it's ready I will resume back. So after around 10 minutes the demo cluster is ready and available. So if I just select this, if I just click here, I should be able to see. So it says successfully set up connection between Aurora demo DB cluster and the EC2 instance, and also successfully created the database. And I should be able to see an endpoint. So if I click here, it should copy the whole endpoint. So for Aurora, there is a writer instance and this regional cluster. And writer instance is used for writing, and you can have reader instances as well, which will be used specifically for reading the database. But all the writes must go through the writer instance. Okay, next we will connect to the EC2 instance and install our PHP application. So I go to EC2 dashboard, click on EC2, instance is running, select the EC2 instance, connect, EC2 instance connect. So I'll close this and I'll just zoom in. Okay. So first we will install Apache server. Install HTTPD. Next is to start the Apache web server. And lastly, enable the service so that on a reboot it always starts up. Now you can check out this particular service. So copy the public IPv4 address. So it works. So this is the basic installation. Next I will install PHP. So I'll copy this command. And make sure you restart HTTPD. You can check out the status. So web server is running, and you can check out the PHP version also. So PHP is installed and the version is 4.3.10. Next, I will install the MySQL client. And just to verify, so it's showing correctly MySQL 15.1. Next, I will add before I install a sample web application, basically this will connect to your Aurora database and it will say whether the connection is successful or not. And for this, I'll just set some environment variable. And the last part I have to replace with the server endpoint. So I go to the database and copy the first endpoint, paste it, now this particular code is basically creating index.php at the web server, Apache web server default location where it serves this particular endpoint index.php. And what it is doing, it's basically connecting to our Aurora database. So we have given server name, username, password and database name. And then if the connection is successful, it will show on the index.php that successfully connected. Otherwise it will say connection failed. So I copy the whole code snippet and paste it. And make sure you restart, because otherwise it will not pick up your changes. So now if I try to access, so as you can see, successfully connected to the Aurora database. So our connection from our PHP test application is successful. This is just basic test whether it can connect or not. Now we'll add some functionality. So this particular PHP page basically will connect number of time the page is visited. It's not per session, it's like globally how many times this page is visited. So it will keep a count. So it will create a table. So first it will connect through MySQL so we have server name, username, password and database name. It will create table if not exist, and this will be auto increment ID and the visit time, and then it will insert into visit these values, and finally it will show the count. So when it has to it will fetch the count based on the number of rows in the table, and it will show us the number of times that this database or this particular web page, not the database, web page is visited. So I'll copy the whole code, and this is already set up in my previous command, so that's why I don't have to export this variable. So this is already set in my session variable or bash environment variable. So I'll paste the whole code snippet. Okay, and now I'll restart Apache web server. And now if I try to access it, so as you can see, this page has been visited 1 times. So if I refresh, these times will increase, so 5 times. So every time I refresh, the number goes up, and this will be persisted across. So even if I restart, this information will be persisted in the database. So we have done the test. Next, I will see the functionality, what all options are available. So now it is up and running. So if you just select it here, so you can either stop temporarily. You can set up EC2 connection, which we have done during the creation. You can set up a Lambda connection. You can add more AWS region. You can add readers. You can create cross-region read replicas. You can create blue-green deployment. You can create a clone. You can take snapshot. You can restore to point in time if you have enabled backtracking. So that's why it's disabled. And you can export to S3, which is a new feature. You can add replica, which is auto scaling. You can create zero ETL integration. You can create RDS proxy, and this is a new feature. You can create a elastic cache cluster out of it. So add reader is specific. So this is kind of a special feature. So if I select this one and actions, add reader, so you can add you can give a name, and it will add readers to your the whole cluster. And then you can set up other options like whether publicly accessible or not, the reader instances, and database authentication. All those things you can specify. So we have looked all the different options which are available. And if we go to the writer instance, at the writer we have reboot, delete, take snapshot, and elastic cluster, create elastic cache cluster. So this works at the instance level, and what we have seen is at the whole cluster level. Finally, we'll clean up all the resources. So first is to delete our demo cluster. So I select the demo cluster, actions, and okay, so I have to select the first, this one, writer instance, and actions. Click on delete. And click delete. So this is deleting, and I will continue to delete other resources like EC2 and all. So go to the EC2 dashboard. I'll close this tab. Select this and terminate instance. So it is shutting down. Next, I will delete the key pair. So click delete and copy paste delete. Next, finally, we'll delete the cluster, the whole cluster. So I go back here and just refresh. So it's still deleting. Let me try now whether it's enabled now. So I can delete now. So just uncheck create final snapshot and copy paste delete me. So I acknowledge that upon instance deletion, automated backups including system snapshot and point in time recovery will no longer be available. So it is being deleted. And that's all. Thanks for watching.